How sweet is this win for you? Finally turning things around after 6 years, bringing home the all-Filipino title again.
Well, obviously we are all very glad that TNT won it and relieved, no? After more than 2 months of tough games for them. So we're very happy for them. And of course, after a title drought, so to speak, of about 6 years, no? And glad to welcome back Chot. And happy for him that on his return, he was greeted with a championship. No?
Your message for the TNT team, the players who are, probably taking a rest right now, and Coach Chot Reyes as well.
Some of them getting married, like Pogoy, I think. Yeah, well, of course, again, resending our congratulations to the team for a well-deserved win. And in the next few weeks, before you return to practice on November 15, rest and relish your victory, which was hard-fought, harder, So we wish you well in the second conference, which is an import conference. And remember, consistency in performance and change. If you need to change, go ahead. Innovate, right? That is the mantra in today's world, isn't it?
There you have it. Thank you so much, sir. From the champion of this year in all aspects, congratulations again for your
I
great
think they're the champions.
2020. Sila pala.
We're just the cheerleaders.
Yes, that's true.
And of course, that is Gretchen Ho with Sir Manny Pangilinan. Catch the full version of the interview next time on The Game. And right now, we welcome the architect behind TNT's comeback to the championship, 9-time PBA champion and 5-time Coach of the Year, Coach Chot Reyes, alongside, of course, team manager Gabby Cui. Coach Chot, Sir Gabby, congratulations once again. It's never enough to say, and you'll never get tired of it. But once again, congratulations on your championship.
Thank you, Jet. Thanks for having us here.
Good evening, Coach.
Thank you.
Yeah, good evening, Sir Gabby. We heard, of course, from Boss MVP and innovation and the way he reached out to the players. I want to ask you, Coach Chot, immediately after the game or the first time you heard from him, anything special he said to you directly, after winning that championship?
Right after, nothing much. He congratulated us. I can't recall anything much. Gabby, ikaw, may naalala ka ba? Except for the fact that, it was a big relief that we were able to get through, the gauntlet na tinatawag na nila.
Oh, Sir Gabby, it's funny because there's an award for Coach of the Year. Coach Chot has won it many times. Pero kung may Team Manager of the Year, siguro you're the front runner of that right now, especially with what the entire TNT squad has gone through. Could you give us a bit of a backgrounder on just how difficult it was for you in particular? Because I know you're in charge of a lot of things and making sure everything runs smoothly. Just how difficult and how much sweeter your trials made this victory?
Well, for me personally, it's been a 3-year journey. I was kind of out of basketball for a while. I was doing my corporate stuff, and boss asked you to help the team. And while I was with the team, it was still a lot of things needed to be fixed. So it's just amazing, and it's really a team effort. I can't claim credit for anything. It's really MVP, Boss Ricky, Boss Al, Coach Chot, even our consultant Mark Dickel, who's not here with us. The players. It's a team effort. It's really that, I mentioned in my Twitter and stuff at Facebook, like it's a journey. It's really a journey. And it's so amazing to see everything come to fruition. And then Coach Chot is definitely, without Coach Chot, we won't be here. So, it's amazing. I was crying, I was like shouting for joy. It was just, and I hope it's a start of something, like MVP said, constantly innovate. And even Coach Chot will say that, this is the start of this, something that we can maintain. So it's always, we always have to continue to be better than what we were. So this team can definitely be better than what it is now.
Well,
but let's savor the moment.
Well, Sir Gabby, you mentioned that you were jumping up and down, you were crying, you were screaming. Pero si Coach Chot was sitting on the side, contemplating, looking at the scene, and taking everything in. We've seen the shots of that, we've seen the videos of that, Coach Chot. I was wondering, what was going through your mind? Because I know you're a serial winner, and this is another addition to your legacy so far. But what went through your head as you watched your players celebrate?
Well, first of all, my belief kasi is the championship moments belong to the players. So I always stay in the sidelines and allow the players to enjoy it because that was really the fruit of their efforts. I was actually on my way to the second floor because our locker room is in the second floor actually dun sa Dabsu. Except I was just prevailed upon by the TV5 staff. Kasi daw they need me pa for the interview. That's why napatabi ako dun sa stage. It was just a moment to kind of heave a deep sigh of relief and then see how happy the players were, including this guy, our team manager here, running all over the court, going wild. So it was just nice for me to see that. And for me, the sweetness of the victory really is in seeing them reap the benefits because they really put in the hard work. And for them to see that, it pays off pala in the end. For me, that was the most special thing.
Always a joy, seeing your players celebrate the wins. Of course, you always, coach, you're always humble in giving them the credit. And I mean, throughout the season, you had that adversity. You always point out they went through adversity as a team and never wavered. I mean, you got guys like Kelly Williams, Troy Rosario, going through injuries, and then seeing a guy like Pogoy, I mean, of course, a player for you in the national team for a while now. How is it, for you to see them naman succeed, Pogoy with his first championship, and these guys going through adversity? How is it for you, and what did you tell them? I mean, throughout the season, na just keep going, and eventually you're gonna win a championship.
Well, at the end of the game, I said, we saw this. We saw this before, right? Because in our very first meeting, we painted this picture very clearly in their mind that this is where we're going. And then we said, okay, now that we've all agreed, let's forget it and let's put in the work. So when it was all said and done, I said, nakita nyo na to, di ba? You saw this already in the past, right? So that was the first thing that I said. And then secondly, in response to your question of how I feel about the players developing, that's really the satisfaction for any coach to see their growth. The kind of player Peruela was, or Dave Marcelo was, or Kim Montalvo was from the start of the year to the finals. It's night and day, really. So the players developed themselves. They grew individually, and in the process, the team grew and developed as well. So, like I said, that's the greatest satisfaction, really.
Well, Coach, looking at the way that you constructed this team, a lot of the players didn't actually have teams before TNT picked them up. You also mentioned throughout the conference that you don't really believe in just having quote-unquote bench players, or players are defined by that bench role, but rather they're all part of the team. When you have guys like you mentioned, Dave Marcelo, Brian Aruela, coming out big and re-contributing as if they were starters, how does that validate yung philosophy na pinupush mo sa TNT?
It validates in our team model. The letter A of that model is accountability. So everyone is accountable. So we build the trust, we put in the effort, and when you do that, it builds the accountability. Because some people will say, Coach, how can we be accountable for something? Hindi naman natin trinabaho to, hindi mo naman sinabi sa amin. But we have laid everything on the table, and now everyone is accountable for it. So when people like Dave Marcelo and Brian Aruela come in, they're accountable for something. It doesn't fall on the shoulders only of the mainstays or the superstars. Every one of the 15 players is accountable for something. Now you may be accountable for being just the best frigging practice player, to be the best scouting team. That's your accountability to the team. So you better be the best practice player there. And if the practice players don't get the job done in practice as the scouting team, they'll get it as well from me, because they have to memorize all the plays of all the other teams that we've played against. So ganun talaga. If you're accountable if your primary role is to play defense, you better play defense or to rebound. So we all have different roles, but we only have one job. Our job is to do whatever it takes for this team to win. That's our job. So don't tell me, hindi, rebounder ako, defender ako, hindi naman ako scorer, ganyan. Hindi, trabaho mo yan because We have different roles, but we only have one job. And the job of everyone on this team, regardless of your position, whether you're team manager, utility, or player, or coaching staff, we only have one job, and that is to do whatever it takes for this team to win.
Perfectly said. I love hearing those, especially when I was playing for you, Coach Chot. But, you know, talking about roles naman, to Sir Gabby, I want to ask you this because Coach Chot will always be humble. How is it having him back on the team as the head coach? And what are your plans ngayon moving forward, you know, in the next conferences?
That's amazing. You know, I've been with Coach Chot since I was a rookie in Ateneo my first year. And he's definitely mellowed out. Before, if we, you know, we'd mess up, he'd like throw chairs and stuff, and you'll be like, oh my God, I don't want to scare people. I mean, that's what people don't, you know, like I was talking to some people, Coach Chot may have been away from PBA, but he was with Gilas. He was learning all these things from international basketball, things that, you know, that are, you know, it's international. It's not just PBA, right? So he's gotten to be a better coach. Not only that, off the court, I know he has coach.com. So you know that in between, when we do training, he's doing workshops. He's helping develop future Filipino leaders while we have games. Aside from helping us, he's helping other companies and other future leaders. So Coach Chot has really evolved. I mean, I've seen him when he was starting out, when he came from corporate first time in Ateneo. So galing talaga, and you know what's in store for us is just to keep getting better, like what Coach Chot would say. I mean, this is the start, and to continue to innovate. I mean, that's the best we can do, and always make sure that we can put the best Filipino basketball forward.